Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm CB Harris, and I'm here at the Armory at Able Tactical in Guernsey, Wyoming with Shane Clevenger, and it looks like an AR-15 here.
We have an AR-15, indeed. This is just a basic model. Put a couple things on it once I got it. This is a particular one, happens to be an Armalite. It's safe and clear, of course. Magazines, a couple different kinds. We have the P-Mag with the window, and of course your traditional mil spec. Has been around since, 60s. Basic 3-position stock. They make all kinds of different stocks and furniture and stuff for these things. I just happen to have an EOTech on here. Mine's never failed, but I know there is a little deal with them going on right now. Foregrip, a couple different styles. I have the standard one on there. I don't use it in such as this way, and when I hold it more this way, so I get kind of like a 45-degree angle on it. And I've had one of the 45-degree angles, like the Magpul, run on it too. Different ones, kind of play with stuff. Single point sling, preferred by me over some of the others, especially if you're doing any kind of CQB, urban officery, or left shoulder, right shoulder, strong side, weak side shooting.
Well, I think that that's one of the things that's really, it's a plus about an AR, but it's also a drawback, is that there's so much for it.
Right.
There's so much for it, but then at the same time, then you can really go overboard and you could make it so front heavy you can't even pick it up if you wanted to. So
yeah, but I've seen guys come in the shop and they got lasers and combination flashlights and IR lasers, and yeah, pretty much whatever you like. Probably going to change this out. This is my standard grip. I like it to be flat. Something like your Magpul stuff or whatever, but yeah, pretty good. Very, very adaptable firearm.
Right.
Everything from the flash hider, compensator, through the butt stock. Like I said, there's a bazillion different things for them.
Absolutely, you can do any number of things to it. So I actually had a failure to extract at one point. Ripped the whole rim off the back of the case, and I couldn't really. It was down. It was all I had was a bore snake with me, and I really can't push anything out with a bore snake. You were telling me about another type of stoppage that could be an issue as well.
Right.
So you care to explain that?
No, obviously what you had, a sleeved chamber is the worst of the worst. That's an armor fix, basically. So when you're in a firefight, that's not good. One of the other ones that's a really bad one is called a bolt override, which is basically when a piece of brass, we'll demonstrate, a piece of brass gets between the face of the charging handle and the face of the bolt, I guess the rear of the charging handle where the hook is, and it won't allow it to come open. So we're set up for that. If I can get to do it. Yeah, looks like it's close. So you wind up with this condition here where the bolt goes partly over a spent casing. I've seen them get in there. It's amazing how they get right back in there and in the position that they get into. But this bolt override, it usually occurs when, if you're, like I said, if you're right-handed and you're shouldered right and you're going down a wall this way, so the wall is on your right. So instead of having wall, body, weapon, you got wall, weapon, then your body. That extracted round, if you have to fire, will go out, hit the wall, and Murphy's Law right back in when you're trying to engage somebody, and that's not good either. So basically the only way to fix that, because you can't, it won't go anywhere. So the only way you can really fix that is make sure your charging handle's all the way forward. You're going to have to take off the mag. You're going to have to reach up into the chamber with your finger there and then press back on the bolt so it'll allow that brass to drop loose. And then of course get your finger out of the way because the bolt's going to go home. And then you can re-onboard your magazine, lock and load, so on and so forth from there. But that's a bolt override. That's you hear other instructors talk about, stoppages. That case you brought up being the extreme. A lot of them don't talk about that. You have double feeds, failure to feed, so on and so forth. But that one is one that kind of stumps some people. So
yeah, I can see where it would, because it just your typical reaction to it just really isn't going to work for you. So
yeah, your immediate action drill, so to speak, is not going to do it. You're going to have to recognize that and of course know how to fix it.
Definitely. All right, so if you guys have any questions about this type of stoppage, go ahead and leave it down in the comments section. Any other comments you may have as well. And be sure to come back next time for another tip, hint, or trick on Thursday's training tip. And until next time, take care and be safe.
See you on the range.